Eldoria, once a beacon of harmony, where golden spires touched the heavens and rivers shimmered like liquid light. A kingdom where magic wove through everyday life, and its people lived in peace under the rule of two mighty kings. King Draco, the guardian of fire, ruled with strength and wisdom. His presence was fierce, yet noble, his crimson cloak a symbol of power, his blade forged in dragon's breath. Under his reign, Eldoria stood unyielding, its warriors trained in the art of battle, ready to defend their home from any shadow that dared creep too close. King Shadow, the master of the unseen, commanded forces beyond mortal sight. Where Draco wielded flame, Shadow danced in the abyss, whispering secrets to the wind. He ruled the kingdom's hidden forces, ensuring peace through silent precision. His rule was enigmatic, both feared and revered, for none could predict his next move. Together, they forged an empire of balance, light and dark, fire and shadow. But fate is cruel, and the day Varkal set his sights on Eldoria, that balance was shattered. The ground shakes, flames rise, shadows creep, Varkal prowls, hunger burns, eyes locking on Eldoria, a kingdom of peace, no escape. He skies churn, restless and heavy. Thunder splits the air, rolling across Eldoria like the growl of an approaching beast. Light fades, swallowed by shadows creeping along rooftops and cobblestone streets. The winds shift, carrying whispers, warnings. The people do not yet fear. They do not yet know. But the storm does. It watches. It waits. And soon, it will bring more than just rain. The heavens rip apart, thunder screaming as the beast descends. Wings unfurl like a shroud of death, blotting out the last remnants of light. Fire churns in its wake, embers spiraling through the kingdom gasps, frozen beneath the weight of its shadow. Eldoria is only the beginning. Varkal has come. Flames swallowed the village, turning homes into cinders and streets into rivers of fire. Smoke choked the air, blotting out the heavens as terrified screams echoed through the inferno. Villagers ran, stumbling over fallen beams, clutching their loved ones. Varkal prowled above, its wings casting a suffocating shadow over the destruction, its molten gaze sweeping across the chaos with merciless hunger. Draco's sword burned bright, reflecting the raging fire, while Shadow melted into the darkness, eyes scanning for a path to turn the tide. Eldoria would not fall without a fight, but the storm had already begun. Draco and Shadow stood among the ruins of their once great kingdom, their gazes hardened by loss and fury. The fires of Eldoria still smoldered, but from its ashes, they gathered their warriors, those who had survived, those who refused to surrender. Blades were sharpened, spells woven, armor reforged. From the streets of the broken city to distant mountain strongholds, the call for vengeance rang out. Soldiers, mages, and hunters swore their allegiance, bound not by duty but by the oath of retribution. Varkal had taken everything, but it had not broken them. Draco raised his sword, flames roaring along its edge. Shadow stepped beside him, his presence a quiet promise of death. Together, they led their army forward, their sights locked on the beast that had torn their world apart. The battle for vengeance had begun. fell, supplies vanished. Varkal's army crushed all hope. Was lost. Eldoria lay in ruins. Draco and Shadow, once the kingdom's fiercest protectors, now stood as prisoners before Varkal's merciless gaze. Their weapons shattered, their people defeated, their home nothing but ashes scattered by the wind. But Varkal was not done. With a final act of cruelty, he tore open reality itself, a rift beyond space and time. The sky cracked, swirling with unnatural energy as the beast cast them into the unknown. The world they knew vanished in an instant. Draco and Shadow awoke in a land unlike any they had ever known. Vast, ancient, and brimming with divine power. The wounds of their exile burned deep, but their resolve burned even deeper. Eldorio was gone, shattered by Varkal's fury, and now they stood in a realm where the laws of their world no longer applied. The ruins whispered of lost empires, remnants of warriors who once fought battles just as desperate. Here, in this unfamiliar land, they would rise again, not as fallen kings, but as architects of vengeance. Their flames had dimmed, their shadows had scattered, but soon they would gather an army, forge new weapons, and seek out the forces lurking beneath the surface. Dragons still existed here, ancient and mighty, and if Draco and Shadow could find them, they would wield the power strong enough to tear humankind itself. Varkal had sent them away, but he needed to erase them from history, and he had only ensured their return. And when they came back, it would not be to reclaim Eldoria as it was, but to build something greater, something unstoppable. Varkal would soon learn that exile was not the end, it was only the beginning.
तेरी मिट्टी में मिल जावा गुल बनके मैं खिल जावा इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू